遅い。どなたか斧を貸してください。
やめろアル、俺は大きい方が好きだ。
こんなタイミングそんな撤去しません。ユキトさんも小さいのが好きなんですから。
ミタマの言うことなんていちいち真に受けるな。大きい方が好きだ。
So, KamiKatsu and episode number 2, and I think it had a really good episode 1, littered with comedy and a interesting premise and more comedy, really, right? And not in the comedy traditional sense, but like shock factor sense, and some of the things that happen make you go like, oh my god, and then you laugh, right? And I think episode 2 had some of that, but I think it kind of is like it was kind of, it's like ripping at its seams already, and it's kind of surprising that it's happening in episode 2. So I'll talk more about it, but at the end of episode 2, maybe you give it one more episode. This might be the point of which you make a decision of probably one of 3 avenues. A, you continue watching. B, you let the anime stack up, which is never a bad choice. You just kind of let some episodes stack up, and at the end of the season, when you're done with your core anime, you go in and watch maybe 2 or 3 or however many you want to of the anime you didn't see, and you just kind of binge them in like a 3-4 hour period. Maybe you do it at like at the end of a night or something after homework or work or school or doing nothing that day, whatever, right? So it might be a good option. And then option C would be you just drop it and you just never look back, So here's what happened in this episode. This episode came up with the idea of establishing a religion. Our main character is going to now establish a religion. The reason he needs to is because Mitama needs followers to be able to use her powers. And her powers are going to be, painfully needed, especially with taking on the Empire and trying to change the system at work with people basically offering themselves as some kind of sacrifice or some kind of habit or ritual or whatever. It's basically like people calling, and her powers are going to be needed. So there is he wants to start a religion around Mitama, which is cool. There's some funny moments. He ends up using the Barnum effect to try and get followers. He tries to do everything. Mitama even tries to be an idol to get followers. And simply because she's dumb and can't keep her mouth shut, they fail over and over and over again. And eventually, she's able to gain a couple of followers because she's able to actually use some of her powers based on a situation that occurs. And she's able to gain powers. Now, what our main character finds out, what Yukito ends up finding out, is that based on how somebody decided to follow her, that bases off the spiritual, powerful energy that they give to her. So, like the farmer guy who's like a masochist, BD, type dude. He decided to go the worship route because he wants to lick Mitama from head to toe kind of thing. So he gave off a certain normal amount of spiritual energy, but because the girls who saw and witnessed her power at play, that's the ultimate form of like wow, they were able to give off a lot of spiritual energy. So now he has a plan for going forward. So that's really where the episode stopped at. She revived some people who killed the villagers originally. She revived them to hopefully gain more followers out of them, gain more people in the village, gain some people with some combat prowess. But she actually accidentally turned the main dude, who was their main threat, into a very good-looking girl. And that's going to be probably pretty funny going forward. So that's what happened this episode. So here's the thing, overall, the episode was okay. It was watchable. But, at the same effect, it was a little bit boring. There was a fox that almost died, the fox thing that almost died. They used CG for this fox thing, and it's super, super out of place. Like, I don't know if somebody in that studio, what studio is this? If somebody in Studio Palette which they did World's Finest Assassin. So, they have some chops. If one of their artists can't draw a fox, have them make it a kitty cat or a dog or a raccoon or a effing panda. But the CG is just so ugly and out of place. Now, that didn't ruin the experience by any means, but what did is the episode being a little bit boring and some of the comedy not really hitting for me. There was a couple of times that I laughed. I laughed at the farmer masochist guy when he, jumped off of the roof and stuff. But then they just kept going with the gag, and I was like, okay, I'm a little bit over this. And then I did laugh at the guy getting turned into a girl. I thought that was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I laughed. I went, you smile. Smile. But overall, the episode was just okay. It didn't hit for me. If I were to put it on a scale, 5.5 out of 10 episode, which is not good. Following up an episode that was pretty good, like a 7 out of 10. Really good episode. 7 out of 10, solid. I don't know. This might be one of those ones that, again, depending on what you guys want to see, if you want to see me continue covering it, I will. But if this video doesn't get any good reception, this week I'm deciding what my final list of anime are. Oshinoko, launched today, and then that's pretty much the last one. I'm gonna take that back to the books. I have an Excel spreadsheet about which videos did the best, have engagement. I'm gonna put a final list today, not today, this week together, and determine which anime are gonna make the list. So that'll really be the determining factor of which ones I watch for the season. So let me know in the comments if this will be one of them. But if not, this for me, honestly, if this doesn't make the cut for the channel, I'm just gonna let this one just stack up, and I will just watch it during the break when the spring season ends as we transition to summer. Those are all my thoughts there. Let me know your thoughts about episode 2. Be real in the comments. If you love it, shout out why, and let me know in the comments. If you hated it, let me know why. And if you're just, a little lukewarm on it, let me know that too. And if you have nothing to say, drop me an emoji, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.